Good morning and welcome to Workforce Skills with John Morse. We're here in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's my pleasure today to have a friend and a guest on here. Eddie, how you doing today?
I'm doing amazing.
Good, good. I appreciate you being here. It means a lot to me.
I feel I owe it to myself and you.
Okay. No, I appreciate it. It's an honor to have you here. You know, I know we go back a little ways. I think we've known each other about 2 years now, haven't we? Something like that?
Yeah, it'll be November 22, it'll be 2 years.
Okay, good, good. And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 52 years old.
Oh, you're young. You're younger than me. No, and out of your 52 years, if you don't mind me asking, how many years have you spent behind bars?
If I'm being honest, I started at the young age of 9.
Okay. So a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. And when I met you, you had just gotten out, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I just gotten out August 15th of 2022.
Okay. So part of what we do is training people to work, teaching people to get back into the workforce. You came into our vocational program that we were running at New Freedom at the time, I believe. What made you choose painting, or what was your interest? What were your thoughts when you came there? You know, prior to New Freedom, did you know what you were going to do when you got out?
To be honest, I got my peer support in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And I got that in 21, like October-ish 21. So when I went through New Freedom, there was a wall of all kind of vocational classes, and painting stuck out to me because I have a little bit experience with it. I'm not the best, but you know, I had the important things, which I believe was masking,
Mm-hmm.
brushing, rolling, and I don't know, for some reason it stuck out to me, and by the grace of God, it got me to you.
It's awesome. What was your take on the vocational program and what we taught? I mean, because we did a lot more than just teaching you to paint. We had our life skills class. What benefit did that have for you? And, you know, because previously, what kind of work did you ever do? I mean, besides running the streets?
I actually hadn't worked since I was 16 years old, and that was with my father roofing.
Mm-hmm.
And I may have a little few jobs in between, but they weren't even long enough to say they were actual jobs
Okay.
because of the life choices I made back then.
Mm-hmm. So what was your take on our class? What changed with you to go the right path? Because you're doing really well up to this day, you know, and still continuing.
Yeah, and I will continue.
Good for you.
Yes. What brought me to where I'm at today is sitting in your class in the front row, looking you in the eye when you spoke, when you taught. And a lot of us in the beginning thought it was repetitive, but I repetitively sat in that front row
Mm-hmm.
and looked you in the eye and listened, heard everything that you taught us. And what I take away from it really was not just life skills, but the in-between things that I use in my everyday life today.
What are you using in your everyday life today that you took from the class?
I was hungry for something I never had in my entire life, and that's life.
Mm.
Because I used to think, and this is me being 100% honest, that I got more love in prison than I did on the streets.
Mm.
But through all my trials, tribulations, there was a woman who is my mother. If I get emotional, it's because I'm real, who showed up every other weekend. Why, I don't know, but she did. She passed away March 26th of 17. And it's sad to say, on her deathbed, she asked me, made me promise to be the son she knew I always could be. And I kept that promise. Well, I actually broke it 3 times. Tried to commit suicide to go be with her. 3rd attempt, didn't happen again. Got on my knees and prayed, and 5 minutes after, a letter came under the door for New Freedom after I refused the program.
Mm.
And I said, okay, I get it, Ma.
She was talking to you.
Yeah. And, you know, I haven't had a dream of my mother since the day she passed. But I know if I messed up, which I won't, she would haunt me.
She's going to come down and smack you.
So when I got out, not going to say no names, I was with a female who was on drugs. And I wanted no part of it. So I left and went to New Freedom. On my own, wasn't sent by parole or probation. And all the 90 days that I was there, I walked through them halls not wanting to leave unless it was on my passes. Yeah.
Well, I know you were in every single class we had when you were there. You never missed a one, whether it was a life skills class or whether it was a hands-on training, you know. And I know when you left, you know, the goal for me was for you to go into painting. That's what I was hoping for with you. But I think I taught you too well how to do an interview. And I remember talking to you about it, and we were discussing the interview process of what you needed to do. And I think you went out there just to see if you could do it. And you did, and you got a job. They wanted to hire you right then and there, I believe. Wasn't that the case?
Yeah. I went on an interview that I saw on Facebook for Sobriety Resources of Arizona. And I went in the interview. I didn't have a resume. All I had is my certificates that I accomplished through prison, my peer support. But I sat down in that interview and I took what you taught us in that class. And when I left the interview, I had no idea I was going to get hired. And I dodged the phone calls for like 4 or 5 days because I struggled with how to approach you about it.
Okay. What was going through your mind on that?
Well, I remember in class you used to say, if you want to do peer support, you know? And so I guess I was struggling. Not only that, my first week in your class, you and John were standing behind me, and I think I was doing the peek holes on the doors, and the way that I masked them, I believe, is what caught your attention because I was pretty good at it. But you asked me for my phone number and if I had a Facebook. And you told me after that, I was a little nervous, like, why is he asking me for, you know? And you told me, keep doing what you're doing. And at that moment, I was like, wow, like you're paying attention to me. So, and actually, I believe in that week you had in your mind you were going to hire me.
I did.
Yeah.
That was my plan.
So that was my struggle.
Okay.
And in this moment today, I'm kind of struggling with, like, should I stuck with painting? But I know what I did in my life was not the wrong choice, but life happens. And I worked for the company that I wouldn't work for. Actually, let me go back a minute. So I approached you and I said, John, I wanted to talk to you. I thought you were going to be upset. And I was the first person the entire time, entire classes, that you gave me a hug. Never seen you hug anybody, never seen that side of you. And you said you weren't upset. If I ever needed anything, any time of the day, night, to give you a call, you'd be there. And I didn't need that, and I appreciated it until 10 months later, working for a company that I won't speak their name, but it ended up being all bad. But I made the choice to leave because I felt it was going to end up bad. 2 weeks later, they got shut down. But I went to you. So literally from the time I walked out of No Freedom, November 22nd of 2022, I didn't work for 24 hours. And that was because of you giving me that job. And as I painted for them 6 weeks, all I was thinking about, doing my job and busting my ass to the best of my ability, but was helping people. Because I know the struggles that I've been through. And I thought I never had a chance. New Freedom gave me that. You gave me that. You know, and I always said my entire life, nobody can fix me,
Mm-hmm.
if, you know, and if I can't fix myself. But going through New Freedom with the vocational, all the groups they had, and talking to a therapist was the best decision I ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Because along the way, the people that I met through that program had a big impact on my life
Mm-hmm.
and probably saved it.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's interesting when you came to us and we hired you, and you only worked the 6 weeks or so.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the heat that got to you, or possibly, or something, or it was a little difficult. If I remember correct, and maybe I'm wrong, but your heart has always led you to help others.
Mm-hmm.
You came to a place that helped you. You get out of prison, you come to New Freedom, they're there to help you. You come to our vocational class, we're there to help you, try to put you down the right path. All we did was show you the way. Nobody could make you do it until you were ready to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You had to make that internal choice within yourself to say, you know what, enough's enough. I finally hit my rock bottom. I don't ever want to go back to prison. I want to live a good life. I want to do the right thing. And when you do the right thing, look how many changes have happened in your life. You're living the best moment of your life right now. You're going through struggles. Welcome to adulthood. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
does. We all deal with it. And life is tough. There's always going to be speed bumps out there. There's always going to be struggles. And I deal with them every day. Today's Monday. Oh my God, the shit I'm dealing with at work, it's crazy. But that's part of life.
Mm-hmm.
I will get through it. There's always tomorrow. And in the process of doing that, it's helping guys at work, helping them get through the situations. It's amazing how many guys that work for me now, like yourself, that have come through the program, that are now becoming leaders. You are becoming a leader to this day. And it's been interesting for me to watch the growth and the change within you as time has gone on. Where you're working at now, giving back and helping others that have been through the same situation you've been through. I'll never forget the day that you texted me and said you got your first car. I'm like, well, send me a picture, you with the car. That was amazing. I mean, would you think you would have been there 2 years ago or 3 years ago? I mean, your life has changed so much in the last couple of years. It's hard to fathom it sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And your mom's got to be watching down at you right now. She's smiling from ear to ear, I bet.
Yeah. So. And just like yesterday, I posted on Facebook. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I wish she was here right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes I can't talk to people in my life,
mm-hmm.
but I could always talk to my mother.
Yeah.
And in this moment, yesterday and today, I wish she was here for 5 minutes.
Yeah. You're going through a tough time right now with what you're dealing with personally.
Yeah.
In the work and your personal life, and it's tough. But you have to believe she's up there looking at you. She's supporting you. You've got people like me here talking to you. Hopefully you just sitting here talking with me, and people watching this will get something from this. And, even though you're struggling right now and you're still helping people, there's somebody out there today that's going to listen to this or see this, and you're going to make a difference in their life just from hearing your story, what you've been through. Because it's amazing how many people have been through the same situations as me and you have been through.
Yeah.
We don't realize it, that everybody has struggles, everybody has problems. It's for you, losing your mother is very difficult. For me, losing my son when he was 18 years old, when he passed away, was very difficult. We all go through those things, but it's how we move forward. And, one of my son's sayings was live in the moment. Mm-hmm. And I have to believe in that I'm living in the moment every second of my life. And I have to believe that I'm a better person today because of my son. It's interesting when I look back and I look at, he actually taught me some lessons, and I'm a better person today for that. And I'm sure your mom taught you something, and you're a better person for that today, and you don't want to let her down, but ultimately you don't want to let yourself down, because you're doing so well with where you're at. and with your sobriety and life and what's happening with you. I look back at everything I've done with the classes and the vocational, how many people I've gotten to work. I can't count. I don't even know how many I've helped over the years. There's so many, but there's also so many that did not make it.
Yeah.
And I can't focus on those. I have to focus on the ones like you that are still successful, still striving for a better life. And that's what we have to focus on. And you do that every day at work now. I mean, how are you changing other people's lives? Your life has changed and now you're giving back. What's the difference with the people you work with? How are they being affected now by Eddie?
I thought it was going to be, I don't know, like, I didn't know how I would be able to talk to people, right? But I'm just real.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we had to do curriculum, all those things, but I do it in my way,
Mm-hmm.
and it's worked. Knock on wood,
Mm-hmm.
because
You put your own twist to it.
yeah, I use bits and pieces of curriculum, but I like life experience,
Mm-hmm.
and giving them a peace of mind without taking away from what they need
Mm-hmm.
and what they've been through. And, October 7th of last year, I lost my daughter, who's 32 years old, and I made it through that. That was worse than my mom's.
Mm-hmm.
And I made it through that sober.
Mm-hmm.
And I showed up to work every single day
Mm-hmm.
to show these guys and girls that no matter what you're going through in life, you can get through it.
Mm-hmm.
And me showing up for them, leaving my stuff at the door and showing up for them. I've been called a hero, a role model, inspiration, hope. Never in a million years did I think I would ever deserve those words or hear somebody say those words to me. But in my life today, I would hope and pray that I am that for anybody struggling in addiction, life, period. If there's any way, shape, or form that I could help somebody, I'm going to put my heart and soul into it.
It's interesting when I hear you say that, and what I see in you is it's real life experience that makes a difference. Anybody can teach a curriculum, but you've got real world experience behind you that I think that makes a difference of how you help people. I think that was a difference with me within the vocational program. It's real world experience that I had, to bring to the table for you guys. It wasn't a curriculum that was being taught by someone just showing up and telling you how to go get a job. It's someone coming in there that's worked his whole life, started a business, hires and fires people. I understand what it's like to work for different people. I always wanted to be the employer that was better than all the ones I ever worked for that I couldn't stand, and I think for me, it was showing respect to everybody in front of me. I didn't care about your background. I didn't care where you came from. It's what you do today moving forward. That was the difference for me. It's your past is your past. I don't care what you did yesterday. I don't care what you had for breakfast this morning. All I care about is right now, this moment, moving forward. That's the difference. What are we doing to change our lives for the better? What are we doing to change other people's lives? Part of me with this podcast isn't just for me and my business. This is to help others with employment, to help other people that have come from the same background as you in your situation. How do you get out there and be successful? And how many times have guys told you, thank you, because of you, Eddie, I've made it. Because of you, I'm this person. It's happened to me so many times I can't even remember. But it's not because of me. I just showed the path. That's all you're doing. You're showing them the path. It's their choice whether they want to follow it or not. And I hope and pray that there's people out there that are willing to make a change. For anybody out there right now that's going through struggles or has a similar story of what Eddie's talking about, or struggles in addiction and needs help, you're more than welcome to reach out to us through our website, through one of our platforms, and we can always get you in contact with Eddie, get you in contact with a facility that's going to help you get off the streets. If you're coming out of prison, you need a place to go to. We have resources for this. We have places we can help you. The first step is you asking for help and admitting that you want help. There's a lot of people like Eddie that's gone through our program that they had to make the first step. We couldn't do it. We put the place there for you. It was you had to decide whether you wanted it or not. When that flyer, that mailer came under your door while you were locked up, and you saw it, you made that choice to reach out. No one forced you, And I think for you personally, I believe that was probably one of the most important decisions you ever made in your life.
Absolutely.
Because you wouldn't be where you're at right now if you hadn't,
That's facts.
Yeah. Where would you be? You don't even want to think about it probably.
In a jail cell, prison cell.
Yeah.
That's honest God truth.
Yeah. And that's not the life you want. That's the old Eddie. The new Eddie's right here, ready to go and take on anything that's thrown at him. And knowing that your mom's watching you and she's got your back, And not only that, how many other people out there have your back? How many times have you called me and we talk and there's issues or just Facebook posts or anything to keep you going? That's what we need. It's a support system. I don't know I know things changed during the classes when we were running. I know there was one point where I had everybody on a support list. You write 10 people for a support list, and I hope I'm one of your top 10 people that if you're in a struggle, you're going to call me and I'm going to be there.
Yeah, you, John, are on there. My beautiful, amazing fiance, Deborah Wilkinson's on there. My brother, my sister. It's not long, but I have coworkers that I met along the way that I know I can depend on. And my wife, my sister, my brother, you, John, some coworkers, I know I can depend on. But what I struggle with is I don't want to depend really on nobody, but it's life. And in my life, I never had anybody I could depend on. I had people calling me because they didn't have money for electric, whatever, food. So I'd go get it however I could. Those people don't call me anymore, And not even to say, hey, Theo, or hey, whoever, proud of you,
Yeah.
But I don't need that. But it's just crazy how life works. They love you when you're in that life, but when you're doing good and they're back there, but there's no judgment because I've been there. And but I sit and think about a lot of things like that. But if I could say to anybody out there who's struggling with addiction, is lost, and needs help, you absolutely, because I had a lot of help along the way, whether it was through New Freedom, family, fiance, whoever, I made the steps. I made every step, and I've made every accomplishment because I chose to do it. But yeah, I had help along. Sometimes I wish I could get the attaboys, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'm going to continue to do what I do, and I really don't need that. But sometimes you get in your head like, dang, I wish I could get some, pat on the back or whatever, because since the day I walked out of New Freedom, got my first car 4 months after, I've paid every single bill. Nobody's paid a penny of my bills. I've done it, you know what I mean? Like every single bill. I've never been late, nothing.
Good for you.
And then I traded my other car in and got a new one. Now, this is where the fear comes in, because as I get that, then I'm dealing with life, not knowing what's going to happen, but I'm going to show up to work today after this podcast. I'm going to leave the shit at the door, and I'm going to show up for them clients because they need me, because I know I needed help.
Yeah. And like you said, since the day you left New Freedom, you haven't been out of work for more than 24 hours.
Exactly.
Every time you keep bouncing back. You're a hustler. You took that street hustle and made it a work hustle. You're not going to let anybody keep you down. You're going to fight for what you want and what you need.
You know, you always said stay hungry. And I've been starving since the day I got out of prison. You know, I don't have the best life, but I have a life worth living.
Yeah.
And live it out here free.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what struggles I go through, I know I'm going to be all right.
Yep. And nobody tells you what time to go to bed or when to eat or what you got to do. You're living your own life, your own choices now. That door doesn't get locked behind you. You're able to open your own doors now. And every door you open is leading to a better part of your life right now. You know, it's, my hat goes off to you with what you're doing right now, helping others out there, because it's difficult. And I know for me in the beginning, it was a struggle working at New Freedom at the vocational program. And it was hard when, you know, my first year there, out of all the people that went through my class, there's 25 people today that are dead that went through our classes that first year. And that was a struggle. And it's, how do you deal with that? You know, and you almost have to become immune to it. It's difficult, but I have to focus on the ones in front of me that want it. I have to focus on the ones that want a better life, that need the better life, that are going to fight for the better life. And, you know, you're probably seeing the same thing. That it's, you can't lead people the right way. You know, I can't take any credit for your success, no different than I can take credit for the guy that doesn't succeed. You know, I'm not going to take credit for someone's failure. I'm not going to take credit for your success. All I did was show you the way. And to watch what you're doing, to watch where you're going, what you're becoming, where you're at in your personal life, it's exciting for me to watch this. You know, I've only known you for 2 years and see where you're at right now. I can't wait for another 2 years, another 10 years. You know, I want to watch your journey and watch you grow, you know, and hear about your kids and grandkids, how their lives are going to change because of your change. What example are you now for your family? Because you haven't been an example in the past for your family, or the right example.
Right.
You know, so how is your personal life with your family? How has that changed? You know, were there family members that had nothing to do with you that now you've reconnected with, or where are you at in your personal life?
I'm not going to say it didn't have anything to do with me. It was my little brother. You know, I done some fucked up shit when I was out, went back to prison, and I hurt my brother because he raised the daughter that passed away. But today in my life, me and my brother talk. He says he loves me. And he never said that before. And I know he knows I'm going to be all right.
That's awesome.
But
And he means it.
yeah, I've been to the dunes with him and watch him with his kids, be an amazing father. I've been to the lake, water skiing, and I only one day to be half the man that he is, you know. And he's the one kid out of 4 that's lived life, worked for everything he has, and he's an inspiration to me. But like I said, one day I hope to be half the man that he is. But I know he loves me. We're closer than we've ever been.
Do you talk to him every day?
Yeah. Not every day, but we talk. You know what I mean? I go over there. If it wasn't for my brother, we wouldn't have the family get-togethers. You know, he's the glue for the family. That, yeah, I don't even know how to explain it, but I know I'm going to keep pushing forward, and I'm going to be me, but I'm going to get this shit right at the end of the day. And I'm not going to let nothing break me. And I say this to say this. I didn't call nobody when I was going through shit yesterday. I called you, John. 2 minutes after I text you, you called. And not to say I'm going to go mess up or nothing, but I needed what you're giving me today.
Good.
And I don't care who's watching this. They need to hear it. Because I know who I am today. I know where I want to be. and nobody or nothing will break me. But you may have saved me in a mental state today. Not that I'm going to go relapse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go back to prison. But what I fight mentally, struggle with, is my anger. It's my only fear out here, and I've controlled it. But sometimes I can't talk to certain people because they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 minutes, you answered my call. I'm sitting here in front of you today on camera, and it means the world to me. And I hope the world's listening, because you're an amazing man. I appreciate you. But yeah, you may have saved whatever I'm going through in my head today. I believe you did that. And you always said that you would answer my call. And you did that. And I appreciate you, and I love you for it.
No, I'll always be there for you. It means a lot for me. And when I say that it's an honor to be a part of your life for the last 2 years, I mean that. And I've watched you struggle. I've watched you succeed. You know, we all go through it. You know, life is tough. You know, it's always going to be tough, and it's always going to hit you, but it's also what makes us stronger. And the fact that you reached out and I called you back and we're sitting here today, you know, I believe everything in life happens for a reason. You know, I know you're a religious person. And we've talked about my theory on it and what I believe. I believe everything is connected in this world. You know, I'm not a religious person. You know, I'm an agnostic. I don't believe in God, but somewhere out there, and I think the reference I always use, and I taught this in class, was the movie Avatar, and the first one, and to where the deity Awa, where everything's connected, and in the end, all the planet, the animals, everything was connected and came together on a molecular level. And I believe we are 100% connected on a molecular level that we will never truly understand in this entire universe, and that everything happens for a reason. We might not understand it today. We might not understand it tomorrow or a month or a year from now. But I think as time goes on, we look back at things that have happened in our life, and things happen at the right time, at the right moment that we're supposed to have it and we're supposed to need it. And I believe if we continue to live our life right and treat people the way we want to be treated, good things will happen to us. But you've got to look for the good. And there's some people that are always looking for the bad in life, or the bad stuff always happening out there, and you can't focus on that. You know, there is light at the end of the tunnel. There's a light out there. There's a connection out there that we can't truly understand. And we just have to go with it. And I truly believe that whatever's happening right now in your life, there's a reason for it. There's a reason we're sitting here today. There's a reason we're talking. I know you're struggling, you know, with what you're dealing with. And you know, there's somebody else out there going through the same shit you're dealing with right now that you don't even know. There's thousands of people out there dealing with the same thing that you're dealing with right now that you don't even know. It's going to make a change. And we might not see it today or tomorrow, but down the road we will. You know, there could be somebody listening to this today that's struggling the same way, and they're going to reach out to us through our website, and we're going to connect them with you and help them get sober or connect them to the right direction. And that's going to be that aha moment, like, oh shit, this worked. This is why we're here today. Or it could be that moment that, you know, there's a reason for you to be here today because you need to speak on a higher level to more people. Maybe this isn't the end or the beginning for you. This is just the middle, and you're going to become something bigger and be out there and start speaking to others about your journey and what you're dealing with. I do believe that. You know, it's interesting when I'm up there teaching you guys, and how many people have come up to me and say, "Oh, John, you're a motivational speaker. You should be a motivational speaker." No, I'm just giving it to you real.
Yeah,
I'm hitting you square between the eyes, and that's who you are. You're fucking real. You're no bullshit. There is nothing fake about you. And that's why I think you are so successful and you're going down the right path. And I think more people out there need to hear your story and hear who you are. And I don't know where this leads for you, but I think there's something bigger and better to come for you down the road. I truly believe that. Just from what I've seen in you and the changes that have happened in you over the last 2 years. There is a greater thing that's going to happen in your life. I truly believe that. Can't explain it. Don't understand it. But I can feel it in my heart.
Yeah.
I can feel it in my whole being right now. And that's that feeling something on a different molecular level that we just can't understand, so there's something special out there for you. Your journey isn't over.
No,
Not even close, man.
no, it's not. What's crazy is since a young age of 9, I've been locked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
From 9 years old till I was 18, a week before my 18th birthday. 6 months after that, I'm in the county jail. I did 29 years in prison. This Christmas will be the third Christmas I've seen in 52, not 52 years, I'm sorry, but
As an adult.
a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Let me leave it at that since I was a kid. But and I got off parole. I got off 2 probations at the halfway mark. I'm a free man. And no matter what I was going through, rather than let it get me in trouble, I come here. And that's a huge life change, because usually I don't come talk.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter if I'm doing it on camera or I was talking to you in person, it's all the same to me, because one way or another, somebody out here will hear this,
Mm-hmm.
And I hope they do. And I hope they reach out, because I know I have the ability to help people.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you're helping me. Like, I'm honestly going to say, sitting here with you today may have changed my life in a whole nother level. And it probably did, because I get in my head so much. But sitting here with you today, just like you said, people show up in your life for a reason. But any accomplishment I've ever put on Facebook, I'm sure you read, I always thank you and John.
I see that.
I do that. Because you taught me a lot without teaching me, just listening, really, and I thank you for it.
No.
But I promise you, anybody who's struggling in life, pay attention, because life is possible, and definitely reach out.
If there's one last message before we kind of close here, looking in the camera, what do you want to tell people out there?
This one?
You pick the camera you want.
Well, I don't know. I've never really been on cameras like this, but if I could say to anybody out there who's struggling with life, period, past trauma, trials, tribulations, addiction, call somebody, reach out, because that person that you call may save your life. John gave me a whole bunch of life skills that didn't come on paper. He spoke out loud, and I listened to every single one of them. Yes, I made these steps, but I heard what people gave me along the way, and I use it in my life every single day. And if I could say anything, your life isn't over yet. I'm a prime example of where your life could be if you choose to make them steps. I could take what I'm going through for the last couple of days of my life, and it could have been something else. But I called this man, John Morris, and he showed up. I showed up, and I thank him for it. So if you guys are struggling, need advice, anything, reach out, because life is possible. And I promise you, don't let your ego, pride, fear get in the way. reach out.
Thank you. Really appreciate you being here today. Means a lot to me.
Appreciate you.
Once again, guys, if you need help out there, there is resources for you. If you need help finding those resources, reach out to us. We're going to help you get to the right place. Eddie works at a great place right now. They help people just like himself and others out there that need help. You know, one of my things this week that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stay in beast mode this week. I'm trying to stay positive and hungry. You know, just stay hungry out there. Want something more in your life. Staying hungry doesn't mean you're going to eat another meal. Staying hungry means you're hungry for more out of life. You want something more, something better for you. Thanks for joining us. Stay hungry.